start with this, we have our ovens preheated to 350. We have our flat iron steak, which comes on the other part of the chuck on the front shoulder of the animal, obviously, of the steer. Sorry about that. So that's our flat iron steak. Depends on what size you have. This is going around almost 4 pounds. No, it's like 3.5 pounds. Then we have our spice mixture. So we got to make our rub, which is a bunch of lovely spices. We have a tablespoon of paprika. So you put in a tablespoon of paprika. Oops. Make that a nice tablespoon of paprika. You also have cayenne. So a half teaspoon of cayenne. Put that in there. Cayenne, of course, is hot. Cayenne. We have chili powder. Can't forget chili powder. Definitely do a tablespoon of chili powder. Get that going in there. Awesome. Then we have our cumin. I love the flavor of cumin. It balances with a lot of different things. We have a teaspoon of cumin. There we go. Also, we're going to be adding our liquid smoke to it, and I'm going to get our sugar and salt. We're going to add to that a tablespoon of sugar, and then we also have our 1 teaspoon of salt. It could be kosher salt, sea salt, whatnot. 1 teaspoon of salt. We got everything in there. This is our spice blend. So you're going to mix this all around. Sugar, salt, spices. That's our nice rub that's going to go on the outside of our lovely flat iron steak. There you go. Then we're going to have little dashes of some liquid smoke. So liquid smoke, you're going to hit it like a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons on one side and a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons on the other side. So a little liquid smoke. This gives the extra added flavor, and our oven is preheated. Once again, next is going to be time to put on our rub. We're going to put on our rub, but one hand's going to be wet, one hand's going to be dry. So our dry hand's going to sprinkle all around. We're going to go on both sides of our flat iron, on both sides. There's one side. There we go. And pat that down with your wet hand. Yes, it's the spices, but one's going to be your hand that's not in the meat, and one's going to be your hand that's the spices. We'll lift that up. Other side. There we go. And make sure you use it all. Just get it really coated nice and pat it down there into the meat. You can let it rest for a little. Make sure it's room temperature before you're going to put it into the fridge. I mean into the, not in the fridge, put it into the oven. Make sure it's room temperature, because it's going to cook better that way, instead of really stone cold. And the other side again. Got all that rub on either side. There we go. And then spread that around, rub that all in. So you've got that on both sides. We are ready to go. So now you can use foil. I'm going to use some parchment, but you can use foil, and you're going to make a pouch. So you're going to fold over. Okay, I have some parchment underneath, so there's going to be some lovely liquid coming out as well. And I fold over again. See there? So fold over and over. Now if you have foil, you can fold it like that. Or you have parchment, you can fold it like that. So you're kind of making a pouch. Alright? Making a little envelope. So once you're going to get our envelope, then you're going to fold it, get your right underneath, and fold that underneath. Okay? And on the other side, take that and fold that underneath. So you have a nice pocket. Very important. You can do this with foil or with parchment. This is going to be steaming on the inside as well as getting the lovely flavors into the meat. Now, we're going to put this into the oven for at least 45 minutes before we take it out and we raise up our heat. Alright? So our oven's on 350. Oven is preheated, once again, 350, and we're going to go into the oven and we're going to check it in 45 minutes. Alright, it has been about 45 minutes at 350, and let's see what's going on here. Some nice moisture happening. Oh my gosh. And see all that moisture inside the pocket? That's important, because what we're going to do is do a little basting, and then we're going to crank up our broiler to finish off at the top. Alright? Okay, it's been 45 minutes later at 350. Let's see how we're doing. Nice. Our pocket's still holding in there. We got some juice on the outside. We're going to open that up, and that's definitely what we want to see. Now it's time to do some basting. So we're going to baste with your lovely juices on the bottom, and just start basting that. Now we turn up our oven to 425. Now if you don't have your oven, you can go 425. You can also use a broiler, but we're going to do an oven at 425. We're going to get a couple minutes for it to come up to high enough temperature. Check your thermostat on your oven, and then we're going to basically put it into the oven for about 10 minutes at a super high heat, just to get a little coating on the outside. Like I said, if you don't have an oven that can go up to 425, then you can also use a broiler. But we're doing some nice basting here, putting that moisture back into the meat. Alright, one last basting, and we have our oven up to 425. And actually you can go up, I said 425 is fine, 400, 425, 450. All of them will work. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to get ready to put this in the oven for about 10 minutes so we can get a little bit of coating on the top. And so let's put that in there, the high heat oven. There we go. We're going to take it out. It's been 10 minutes. Ooh, it's hot. Check this out. Wow. So we got a nice coating on the outside, right? We're going to do one last basting, and then you're ready to get ready to slice it. Let it rest before you slice it. Let it rest for like about 10 minutes, and then we're going to be slicing it up. But we're going to do a little bit more basting on there. Just a little bit. There we go. Last of that mopping to add that moisture to it. And we're getting some barbecue sauce together. Any kind of barbecue sauce you want can go on the side. You can also baste a little bit on the top if you want, but we're pretty much done. I'm going to let this rest before we slice it up. Here we go. We let it cool a bit out of the oven, and then I already sliced some a little bit. I couldn't wait, but here we are. And you can put some barbecue sauce, whatever barbecue sauce you have, on the top. A little basting there to finish it up. Add some moisture. We got all our we mopped up all our lovely natural juices we had in the meat right there. And then for slicing, you're going to slice it. Hopefully you're going to be slicing it against the grain. As long as you see your fibers of meat that are running shorter and then instead of running longer, then you are good. You have your against the grain slicing. Try to slice it nice as thin as possible. And generally if you go widthwise on the meat, you're going to be fine. You're going to be against the grain. Like I said, if you see the fibers running long, elongated along the meat that's with the grain, it's going to be more tough. So you always want to slice against the grain, and you're ready to go. Try to slice it as thin as you can. Enjoy.